Everything you have in you builds our next Black Wall Street. What are you bringing to the table?
Personal financial literacy is the ability to read, analyze, manage, and write about the personal financial conditions that affect our livelihood and well-being. It includes the ability to discern financial choices, discuss money and financial issues without discomfort, plan for the future, and respond competently to life events that affect everyday financial decisions. Throughout the month of April, organizations across the country will be holding events and carrying out initiatives designed to improve financial literacy, especially among our nation's youth, and to promote financial well-being for all consumers. At the Phoebe Foundation, we have a responsibility to address the needs of our community by standing in the gap 365. Stay tuned.
The Phoebe Foundation, we're new to those that don't know. So we're kind of like that quiet giant. We're 21 years old. We are a nonprofit financial education and equity agency. We work in the schools. We work with the Department of Aging. We work with different municipalities. We write curriculums. We work and make other people's programs excellent all around the topic of money. We make money matter because it does. We emphasize every penny counts because it does. We've helped in the areas of home ownership provenly. I have an amazing team. The Phoebe Foundation going forward, we will be implementing what is called the financial mask. I encourage you all to follow us and take in as much of our intellectual capital as you possibly can. The Phoebe Foundation, our goal is to build that next consumer, that next best customer. Black, brown dollars need to be in that space. And I think we are tapping into a new generation of dollars that are wealthier than we have projected them to be. But I can't wait till we replicate what we're doing here around the country because it's so worth being done again.
Absolutely.
I met Miss Murphy when I was doing Upward Bound, and she wanted me to do the intro and stuff for his video she was making on financial literacy to teach it to our peers and stuff. So kind of make it more simple for our peers to understand it and everything. And ever since then, I just kind of been writing and stuff with her, doing poems. My name is Liaison Winfrey, and today I'll be reading a poem about how important it is to save your money. 2020, man, what a year. It's finally over, but some of these problems are still here. And when I say problems, you know what I mean. I'm talking about COVID, and here's the thing. Jobs have been lost, and going to school has been paused. We've been given government assistance almost through it all. But what happens when the help stops? Will we fall into depression or rise to the top? I know it's easier said than done, but better choices with our money should be priority number one. Save what you have, put it to the side, because you're going to need it, and let me tell you why. The world will not always be this way. So yes, there will come a day that the checks will stop and the direct deposit won't hit. So knowing this, tell me, are you ready for it? Are you ready to put your wants to the side, realizing those shoes you want won't keep a family fed or a roof over your head? That buying a new TV, as sweet as it may be, won't keep your bills paid or put gas in your tank. So listen here and listen now. Save your money and make yourself proud.
The Phoebe Foundation is a village. We work collectively with a number of brands, businesses, and organizations. Financial literacy cannot be attained without a massive effort. So we would like to thank all of our partners throughout our 19 years of doing the work and serving the community to ensure that our loved ones are financially aware of how to manage their wealth.
No, one thing that's powerful to me is the apple. I want to talk about the apple, the apple of connectivity, and I've actually made my way onto the apple. So, that's kind of a symbol of being involved with all that Phoebe does. And something that resonates with me is I know a lot of the buzzwords is financial literacy or personal finance, and what Phoebe can help you improve upon. But I believe that Phebe's main initiative, the main objective is to attain financial equity. Once financial literacy is attained, then the equity begins through learning more about personal finance, through learning more about credit and debt. And all of the businesses that have made their way onto this Apple are part of a greater cause. It's a new way to look at cause and effect, because for this cause, the effect is uplifting communities, uplifting individuals, uplifting families towards attaining what should be available to everyone, and that is the education and the knowledge that basically eliminates the hardships that come along with the miseducation or the lack of the knowledge. So it's a source of real power and strength that the Phoebe Foundation is this core, and like no pun with that, but they are at the core of the Apple. But all of these other community organizations and businesses and institutions that have worked with the Phoebe Foundation or work alongside the Phoebe Foundation, sponsored efforts and causes by the Phoebe Foundation, they've all helped the cause. And I just think that's really, really powerful.
How do I get out of debt? Keep this in mind. All of us are individuals, and so is our financial works, and so is our operation and our mind thinking. And so the first thing you want to know is, what debt are you in? Most people are better than they thought. And the fear kept us from finding out just how much debt am I in. Pull your credit reports. Open your mail and answer your phone. Those are the three ways that debt comes into our life, other than the fact we created it. Once you know how much debt you're in, don't clench your pearls and get scared. If you're $20,000 in debt, that is not something to be afraid of. It's negotiable. Pick up the phone. People like to communicate. The reason collectors get aggressive is when you ignore the fact you owe the debt. I always tell people, just think about it. Have you ever lent somebody some money and they didn't give it back? And then they have the audacity to be mad at you. Well, what's the difference? It's just a different scenario. It is us who owe someone and we think, that's a big company, they'll be all right. Answer your phone and boss up and take control.
April is the month of financial literacy. In a celebration of this, the Cleveland Observer and the Phoebe Foundation have collaborated to offer you great tips that could best suit you during your financial journey. The goal of this initiative and this celebration of April is to ensure that you get the tools and the tips that some people don't get the access to. I'm very optimistic about this. I'm optimistic because it's not very often we talk about the things and the conversations we need to have. Definitely in an open space. And our money is one of the key reasons why we're sitting looking behind. And so I'm really excited about it because it gives people the opportunity to first engage about their finances and what they think is important, and secondly, to create some type of follow-up to ensure that they get the best shot at the table as everyone else. What it takes to become financially literate and to make better financial choices.
All 300 of our 8th grade students have been empowered, engaged, and have learned the true meaning of what financial literacy looks like now and what it's going to look like as they go into brush and enter the real world.
I am Melissa Thompson, Director of Pupil Services in South Euclid Schools. We are grateful for our partnership with the Phoebe Foundation to provide financial literacy information and resources to the students and parents in our school community.
I am Lynn Johnson, Assistant Vice President at Fifth Third Bank. My office is located in the Union Miles area.
My name is Michael Martin. I'm the branch manager of the Lee Harvard location. We learned a lot from the students. The students learned a lot from us. We also had a lot of fun. We are really excited for 2021 to perform these exact same financial literacy classes for the next level of students.
Again, we thank you, Phoebe Foundation, for the opportunity to provide financial literacy to the students of Memorial Junior High.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're focused on financial stability. We used our Young Bankers curriculum to partner with the Phoebe Foundation to educate students on the basics of budgeting, credit, and financial self-sufficiency. We feel those are vital skills to their future success. The Phoebe Foundation partnered with Fifth Third Bank to allow 300 Memorial Junior High School 8th graders to learn about finances and attend field trips to the Federal Reserve Bank and the Western Reserve Historical Society. The Phoebe Foundation created a way to address the digital divide for low-income families who were not getting access from other programs, with support from Fifth Third Bank. The Wire to Work program's main objective is to provide equitable access to low and moderate income households and communities to stay internet connected. Most of us have heard the telehealth and similar importance of telefinance, where Fifth Third bankers provide virtual education workshops to assist with financial decisions. We are grateful for our collaboration with the Phoebe Foundation to provide internet connectivity to those in need throughout the Wire to Work program.
Hey, my name is Melanie Grant. I am currently student liaison with the Educational Talent Search program, which is housed at Cuyahoga Community College's Metro campus near downtown. The Educational Talent Search program was literally trained by Miss Sharon Murphy-Williams, and through a partnership through our boss, Dr. Marshall, they fostered this partnership and said, hey, come in, we see that you have a financial literacy curriculum, come meet our team and train them so we could get the information out to the students. And that started in November of 2019. It has blossomed beautifully since then. We were able to roll out the curriculum, and I'm glad that they were able to learn and ask questions involving financial literacy. So the school that we plan to adopt with the Phoebe Foundation is Lincoln West High School, School of Global Studies. We really were able to break down that barrier. Like when you say financial literacy, a wall goes up like, oh my God, I don't know what that means. That's a fancy term. No, we broke all of that down, had a lovely discussion with the students, and I'm glad that they gained clarity on some of the topics and subtopics of financial literacy that they didn't know anything about. Scranton Elementary is another partnership school with the ETS program, and what we do is we work with the middle school population, so students in grades 6th through 8th. So we are in the planning stages of presenting a financial literacy workshop for those students as well. So financial literacy doesn't just start with adults who have an idea of how money works and have been working for a long time and know that you have financial responsibilities like bills. No, we wholeheartedly believe that the subject of financial literacy should be taught as soon as possible and tailor it to their specific grade level. And not only do we do that with our middle school students, we do that with students 6 through 12. So based on their grade level, we tailored the lesson to them. We give them scenarios. They really like the discussion portion. So instead of me being on screen virtually showing a PowerPoint, I open it up as a conversation like, hey, what do you know about money? And then I get the obvious answers. Well, you use it to buy stuff and you spend it on stuff, and in order to get it, you gotta go to work. I was like, great. That's a wonderful foundation. Now let me tell you what else you can do with money, how to secure certain things. And I do tell them like it's a little overwhelming because there's a lot of information, but these things will come into play as you get older. So I always remind them like, it's okay if you don't understand. It's okay. I'm just here to plant the seed, so when you get older, you can say, oh, I remember when Miss Williams and Miss Grant was telling me about that. I get it now. So glad I met them. I am in full support and just amazed at how much progress we have made. I am amazed at how receptive the students are. Like, they are receptive and grateful. And the one that really gets to me are my seniors, who come back and say, Miss G, thank you so much. I'm first generation. My mom and dad didn't know what it took to pay for college, but talking to you, I now can, kind of develop a plan, and I have some ideas. Can we go over my plan before I graduate? Because I just want to make sure that I'm on the right path financially before I start making all these decisions, and it touches my little heart. So the partnership has blossomed and is still blossoming, and I'm just super excited for the things to come. I'm really, really excited that the Phoebe Foundation and Tri-C is here with the partnership to get the knowledge and the information and the resources out to our students that need them.
The Phoebe Foundation is this almost institution.
I think financial literacy is the strength. connectivity and networking is also a strength.
Let's be frank. There are a number of entities out there that focus on this whole area of finance. What's unique about Phe'be is its leader, Sharon Murphy-Williams, and her uniqueness has to do with her ability to communicate at any level.
She creates an environment where it's okay to learn. It's a positive energy that I watch.
That permeates the youth space and their parents. It's just amazing.
And of course, she's helping people that have engaged in the work market, or the employment market. She's actually helped them understand their credit, how to manage their credit, how to make major acquisitions in their life.
If they're able to understand how to manage the money, then they will build success. It's understanding the ecosystem of capitalism. Financial literacy is important for all of us to kind of maintain a modest understanding, but in order for us to kind of engage and benefit from the system in which we live, we have to kind of advance our knowledge of how money works.
Education. Second thing I would say is accessibility to our capital markets and to our credit markets. I think it's just a comprehensive way of managing your life dollars and your retirement dollars. It is so important for people to understand at an early age how to manage their financial affairs.
But not only just getting them the theoretical practices, best practices for understanding how to do a checkbook and so forth. What I understand about Phoebe Foundation is that it actually identifies causes of financial problems and rectifies those challenges through practical application of financial strategies. Trying to help the underserved understand money and manage money. The state of the country is at a point where people are paying attention to disparities. You know, we understand that there is a wealth gap. When you take a look at Phoebe Foundation and its collaboration with UBF, there's an opportunity for us to embed systemic change. So not just dealing with the individuals, but taking systems and recreating them so that they produce equity. Understand where they're at, understand what's important to them, and here's the key, get them to respond.
The Phoebe Foundation has helped young people especially. That is where you can make a tremendous difference in a timing process. If you access that population early, the outcome for their life generationally makes a tremendous difference.
You don't wake up in the morning and decide you buy a home. You want to plan that because there used to be this saying that home ownership was this American dream. Well, it can also be an American nightmare if we don't have our finances together. We've helped over $500 million in mortgages close through educating consumers on how do I buy a home. Let's look at what you're working against and let's look at what you're working toward. How close are you to that goal? What's the interest rates? What will your interest rate be? I want you to be a qualified buyer. So how do you buy a home? You get your money together. You save some money. The average credit score that a lender, meaning a bank, is looking for is a 720. There are some institutions that will do it as low as 680. There are programs out here called down payment assistance programs. So homeownership helps you in the sense that, are you ready to settle down? Are you ready to really take on a responsibility such as home ownership?
Legit, I got a whole degree in accounting and did not know that there was a such thing as a credit report. The significance of it. Like when she schooled me, it was like I was taking master level classes at her Saturday workshops that she was hosting. I mean, I was generationally impacted. That's how Ikenna, he's one of my students. They had the desire to learn more about financial literacy, and I would have these boot camps during the summer and spring, like and winter breaks, It would be a week long. I'm talking 10 to 4, voluntary. These kids would show up, find their own way there, find their own way home. I would feed them, and I consulted Shara, and I would say, listen, I just need you to, the basics, like the preliminaries of, and they like hung to it. They created a whole group. Now they're an organization. And these young men, I'm talking Stafford, Miami of Ohio, Case, Columbia. I mean, they're all over. So I think one went to the service, and they're still connected, and they are passionate about doing this. It's a whole generation of them that it clicked. So they graduated from college. They're working on master's degrees. Some are in medical school, and their credit, A1. I'm talking 700 plus, and they 19, 20, 21, buying their own cars, being able to have apartments when they move away, and they have access and don't need a cosigner. I see it working. I'm witnessing it work. There are decisions that they can make today to position themselves to be good. I'm talking good. It's going to take work. It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take patience and dedication, and the main thing, discipline. It's levels to this, and the Phoebe Foundation, it's the foundation to help you just catapult. Man, I was hungry. We ain't had nothing. It was 6 of us. My father worked, but he made sure that we got a solid education and we ate. But all of the luxuries, what was that? We didn't have that. I hated being poor. I couldn't pass that down. You gotta have an education. I needed it to be free. My parents couldn't afford for me to go. Yeah, I got a free education at academic, but with that, you still got room and board. You still got books and all of these things that nobody tell me about that. I'm thinking I got a free ride and it's cool. I still graduate the thousands of dollars in debt. Where'd that come from? I had a free ride, right? So it's just getting them hip. Like, listen, this is on the horizon. This is the game, and these are the rules to the game.
Go in paying your student loans as you go in. Deferring, forbearances, those are just prolonging the debt, and it doesn't stop interest from accruing. The best thing to do with your student loans right now is call your carrier. Know who you owe. Find out what the balance of your student loans are. See if you can negotiate the interest and the penalties that have accrued. People never think about saying, hey, I was for 3 years still going after my education. Do you think we could be forgiven for any of this interest? It's forgivable. Take that conversation chance. If they tell you no, you owed it anyway. But if they say yes, how much you can save. Also, a lot of us don't think about this, but the next job you take, see whether or not they will contribute. Instead of asking for a $100,000 income, maybe ask for an $80,000 income and a $20,000 contribution to your student loan debt. Our employers are always looking for our education to grow.
The question that begs to be asked is, what does success mean? Why? What's the benefit? What's the product of that success? And so I'm going to shape that in the form of maybe 4 points. I tend to refer to it as faith, family, finance, and philanthropy. The center for me is always faith. Why? Well, because it's faith that shapes me. It's the morals, it's the ethics, it's the belief in a cause and in an entity greater than myself. I believe that foundation centers me. It helps me to understand and relate and to be at peace in a tumultuous situation. Family is next. You know, you're born, you can't control who you're born, whose family you're born into, et cetera, but family is close. So that's kind of a next part of that concentric circle, if you would. So faith, then family. Finance. Well, in this world, finance is important. And one of the things I always point to is the needle and thread that connects these 4 things together. There are at least half of the parables in the Old Testament are focused on finance. Finance in the form of money, finance in the form of investment. So that's not an accident. It's a matter of telling and teaching about the benefits of money. So finance in this world, at this time, finance and successful finance helps you to be able to have the influence or make the difference in certain areas. And that's where I get to philanthropy. Both myself, my wife, we focus on a number of areas in philanthropy. A lot of the board work we do is even in the areas of philanthropy. We have funds, we have scholarship funds, we have a donor advised fund. Those funds are there to make a difference, to allow us to write a check to help to make a difference, whether it's with individuals or whether it's with entities. But it gives us the perpetuality, or the perpetuity, if you would, the perpetuity with respect to those funds and their ability to continually make money so that we can then write those checks to make a difference. Put it all together. Faith, family, finance, philanthropy.
In a sincere statement, let me thank each one of you for being willing to be a part of a conversation that we don't know where it really ends, who's going to hear it, but we know that what we have to say is important because the roles we serve are important. Financial education couples everything. You know, as a Rotarian, I thought I was doing something, but being able to give back black, now I know I'm doing something. So again, gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What now? What next? The Phoebe Foundation is here to help you answer, what do you do now with the money that you have? What do you do next with the money that is to come? There are so many unforeseen circumstances that we are experiencing. I mean, we can't even name them all. But what now? What next? Get information and tools and resources to help connect you so that you know what to do now, so that way, no matter what happens next, you're prepared. The goal is to be rooted in financial literacy. It's to have education and to feel confident enough to answer the question if someone was to ask you, what now? What next?